Welcome to the show, team. I'm Bart Walsh. I'm a keynote speaker. I'm also a fitness expert, and you are listening to a show that simplifies health advice so that more people can make changes in their life for the better in the long term. We're not looking short term here, team. We're looking for long-lasting health results, both physical and mental. Now, before we get cracking, if you want to contribute to the show, you can. I want to do a few question and answer shows in the future, and I need your input. So any fitness, health, mental, physical, any questions, send them to hello@bartwalsh.com.au. I'd love to know your questions, and I'd love to know how I can help you. And if you haven't already, 5-star rating, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, boost our message up the algorithm. Now, Timo, grab a protein shake because we are about to talk lifting weights for your weight loss journey. There is a moment in every beginner's fitness journey where they walk into a gym, they look at some dumbbells, they look at the machines, they look at the barbells, and then they run straight towards the treadmill. Cardio is familiar. Cardio is safe. I can do cardio. Anyone can do cardio. But weights, they're just a little bit more complicated. And look, when the goal is fat loss, the assumption is pretty simple. If I'm not sweating, I'm not progressing. But that is an assumption, and it is far, 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 far from the truth. Really, this perception is no one's fault. We have been conditioned to connect lots of cardio to lots of weight loss. And you can indeed lose a lot of weight by just doing cardio. But from a coach's point of view, there is another way, a better way, a way that will facilitate automatic calorie burn as opposed to having to burn your calories off manually on that treadmill. However, if you are thinking about going down this road, a road you may have never gone down before, a road of fully embracing lifting weights as a means for weight loss, I need you to promise me something. I need you to adopt a growth mindset. Because to go somewhere where you've never been, we need to do things that you have never done. And these things you need to do will be different. But just because they're different does not mean they are wrong. So can you promise me that? Keep your minds open as you go down this new weight loss journey. Because this fitness, strength, and weight loss journey is more than physical. Arguably, it's more mental than anything. And look, I want to really reiterate this. People come to me saying that they want to change their bodies, but they don't want to change anything about their life. And that doesn't work. The most successful people I've coached, they've trusted my program. And look, was it the best program, the most ideal program? Maybe, maybe not. But they trusted it and they followed it and they got a result because of it. The last thing I want you to do is to listen to this show and go, oh, this advice is a bit different than what I've heard before. I'm just not going to do it. Nothing's going to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So keep your mind open, okay? Lifting weights. It's not about sweat. It's not about calorie burn. It's about using heavy things for what they are good for. Building strength, building muscle, and most importantly, for the weight loss journey, building your metabolism. Let's use an analogy here, or is it a metaphor? I think it's an analogy. Your body is like a high-performance car, and I know nothing about cars, so just stay with me, all right? The more muscle your body has on it, the higher the horsepower, the higher the output, the higher the speed. A performance car like this burns more fuel. It uses more calories, both in a workout and in everyday conscious and unconscious tasks. And this is the real key to leverage heavy weights for weight loss. We need to teach your body to be a metabolic machine. Your muscles, right, they are amazing. And they do far more than just look good and help you carry the groceries. They hold your posture. They stabilize your joints. They help you digest. They help you breathe. And all of these things, they require energy. The more muscle you have, the more potential for energy you can burn. And then the easier the fat will burn throughout your entire day. Seems pretty simple, hey? On top of this, lifting weights actually changes the shape of your body by growing muscle. So not only are we putting in the work to reveal the muscles that are under a layer of fat, we're also growing the muscle to improve their function and, of course, improve their aesthetics. Now, here we go. Time to address a myth that somehow still is going around in 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, lifting weights will not make you bulky. It will make you strong. It will make you tight. It will make all of your health and fitness wishes come true, but it will not blow you up like the Michelin Man. It doesn't work like that. Not lifting weights because you think you will get bulky is like saying, hey, I'm not going to cook because I just might become a Michelin star chef. Only very, very rarely does someone have the genetics to blow themselves up in the way that you think you will blow up. And even if you do that, even if you are the 0.01% that do have the genetics to build muscle really fast, we can change it. We can stop things. We can change our program. We can change our progress. So I do not want that myth to stop you from lifting something heavy. And so if you are wanting to use weights to help your weight loss, I don't want you to focus on the calorie burn. I don't want you to focus on how much you are sweating. I want you to solely be focused on one simple but powerful goal. Get strong. If the weight on the bar or the machine is going up week after week, there are some seriously good things happening to both your muscle and your body fat if your nutrition is right. And I suppose it's probably good to insert this here. I didn't factor in much nutrition information into this episode. If you do want specific nutrition information about weight loss or about your journey, write in hello@bartwalsh.com.au. Send me an email with your question, with your context, and I'll be happy to address that for you more specifically. Generally, I will give you some tips right here just to get you going. And look, they're pretty simple, but they're very effective. The first is when you're going through a strength journey, when you're lifting weights, I want you to think about nourishing your body and not depriving it, which is a mental flip to probably what you're used to. You're used to taking calories off to lose weight. I don't want you to do that. So I want you to, yes, cut out the bad food or reduce the bad food, but I also want you to make sure you're eating more good food, specifically more whole food that has one ingredient. If you don't know what whole food is, go down a deep, dark rabbit hole on the web to understand. We're talking fruits, we're talking vegetables, we're talking meats, we're talking dairy, if you can tolerate dairy, legumes, grains, if that's your thing, if you're not intolerant. If we stick to one ingredient whole foods, a lot of percent of our fitness and health boxes are being ticked. Eat whole food. Eat your protein, so make sure we're getting at least 2 grams of protein for every kilo of body weight, or at least aim for that. You might not hit that every single day, but that's okay. But that's sort of the benchmark I want you to focus on. And I want you to eat your vegetables. We are underestimating the power of fiber in our diet. Remember, our body is controlled in some instances by the bugs, by our microbiome, the bugs in our body, and these bugs feed on fiber. So if we feed the right diversity of fiber and the right amount to these bugs, again, a lot of our health boxes are being ticked. So those are your 3 tips for the moment. We'll talk about nutrition in a later episode. Eat whole food, eat protein, eat vegetables, eat your fiber. But Bart, how? How do I lift weights? How do I do it? I hear you, and that's a great question, and here is a great answer. The simple answer is I want you to lift something really, really heavy with your arms, with your legs, or both, and then put it down again and rest. The critical word here is heavy. It needs to challenge your entire being, a little bit of your mental being as well as your neural being and your muscular being. But the long answer, settle in, here it is. Get out a notepad if you really want to. I want you to pick 3 exercises that recruit a lot of muscle. So 3 big exercises your body can do. One exercise will be a leg exercise. One will be a pulling exercise where you're pulling something towards you. And the second will be a pushing exercise where you're pushing something away from you or above your head. And then over the next few weeks and months, I want you to try and get as strong as possible in these movements. I want the weight to go up on these movements week after week until it doesn't. That's the goal. Specifically, I want you to lift these weights for 5 to 8 repetitions. So 5 to 8 reps, 2 to 4 sets. If you've never lifted before, start at 2. If you are a bit accustomed to lifting, you can bump the sets up a little bit. But then here's the kicker. I want you to make sure you're resting at least 90 seconds, preferably 2 minutes between each set. And this is the thing that a lot of people struggle to get their head around. Because again, we equate fitness to doing more and moving more. But when it comes to strength, we need to recover more. So we do a set of 5, we rest 2 minutes so that our body actually has time to recover to do that same weight again. If you do this and you're like, I'm ready to go after 30 seconds, maybe we didn't go heavy enough in the last set. 5 to 8 reps, 2 to 4 sets with 90 seconds rest, preferably 2 minutes in between each set. Now let's break this down a little bit more and give you an example. Exercises that are good for beginners might be a leg press machine, a chest-supported row machine, and maybe a dumbbell overhead or a dumbbell chest press. And look, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, hey, that's okay. That's why I'm here. The best thing you can do is to get someone to teach you. I want you to hire a coach, even if it's just for 1 or 2 sessions, and say, hey, I heard this Nuffy on a podcast say these exercises are good. Can you teach me how to do it? But understand that the end goal here is to do more movements of higher complexity, such as a back squat, a deadlift, or a bench press. You may or may not have heard these before, but those 3 exercises are a really good place to start for a beginner. And I want the lift to be heavy. I'm going to keep reiterating this because I need to challenge your perception of intensity and your challenge of what is heavy. I don't want you to aim for an, oh my gosh, this burns feeling, like if you're doing a group exercise class. I don't necessarily want the burn. It may happen, but I don't necessarily want it. I want the holy schnitzel, holy moly, that this is heavy feeling. Challenge your body through heavy weight and not through reps. And look, these recommendations are simply a starting point. Lifting requires practice. It's a skill. We need to practice it. So let's start simple and do the reps. And in regards to frequency, I want you to do that workout that we just went through 1 to 3 times per week. 2 will be the sweet spot for most of you. But that's all we need for strength. Remember, strength takes time to develop. If we're doing our workouts right, it takes time for our body to recover. And that's the magic. That's how we get strong. That's how our body can build our metabolism. And so to add to this, I want you to keep in mind that the body adapts pretty fast. All the programs I write have 3 to 6 week phases, I like to call them, where we'll then change the reps, change the exercises to keep your body guessing, keep a novel stimulus coming to your body so it keeps changing. The nerdy term for that is progressive overload. You may have heard that before. So just keep that in mind. You can start with these 3 exercises, but in 3 to 6 weeks, when you're starting to struggle to add more weight to them, that's when we need to change something. And now just remember, team, your goal is to get stronger. If all goes well, we'll add just a little bit of weight each week, week after week after week after week. And if we're doing that right, that tells me we are on track. And now I want to mention something that might be a little bit touchy to some of you. And this is a word of advice for all of the neurotic weight scale users out there. I see you keeping tabs on every gram that comes on and off your body. I see it. I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to put the bathroom scales in the cupboard just for a little while, because during this process of getting stronger and increasing your metabolism for weight loss, the scale will lie to you. Muscle is heavy. Water, it fluctuates. For me, my weight can fluctuate up to 4 kilos a day, up or down, depending on how much water and carbs are in my system. There will be weeks or months where you don't get stronger, and that's okay. And there'll be weeks or months where your weight stays the same or perhaps even increases. That is okay too. Because remember, progress isn't linear. So we need to sometimes take a few steps back to take even more steps forward. So I don't want you to fall into the trap of thinking that all of these weight changes that may happen is failure. Instead, I want you to base your progress on your performance. So this is how we know we're moving in the right direction. Ask yourself these questions. Am I getting stronger? Do I have more energy? Am I more confident in my day-to-day? Am I hungrier? This is a good sign of an increased metabolism. Is my libido higher? Also a very good indicator of better hormone profiles and better health. All of these are great indicators for progress and indeed for health. Using these markers will also create a positive relationship with exercise moving forward, and that is the money. That's what I want, a positive relationship with exercise. We're not bashing ourselves up. Now, all of this isn't to say ditch the cardio altogether. Far from it. I just don't want you to rely on the cardio to lose the weight and then keep the weight off. If we use weights for what they are good for, getting you stronger, building muscle, building your metabolism, then also let's use cardio for what it's good for, which is building stamina, increasing your endurance, increasing performance, and creating an overall healthier and more efficient body. So if you are a runner, keep running. If you're a cyclist, keep cycling. If you enjoy high-intensity functional movement, still do it. Don't necessarily drop all of it. Just understand that there is no substitute for the transformative power of traditional strength training. The two are best done together. And hey, if you are keen for a cardio best practice episode, please let me know. Send me your questions. Email hello@bartwalsh.com.au and send me your questions. Let me know what you want to know about cardio. So team, here are the spark notes for today. If you are wanting long-term weight loss, leverage the transformative power of lifting heavy things. Aim to get stronger as a means to increase your metabolism and burn more calories and fat throughout your day. Lift heavy, get strong, and let your metabolism do the work for you. Timo, thank you once again for listening today. Hey, if you could do me a favor and just quickly hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share if you think someone else would benefit from this button, and help spread this message to more people throughout the world. Again, we have some pretty hefty goals we want to achieve with this podcast, and we can only do that with your help. So your 2 seconds out of your day will mean a lot to me and the team here. So thank you very much. And team, enjoy the rest of your day, morning, evening, night, wherever it may be. I'll see you in the next one. Choose to be better.